Hi, my name's Orianna Bretschger. I'm the CEO and founder of Aquacycl, and welcome to Wastewater Wednesday. Today we're going to talk about risk, the business risks associated with not addressing wastewater appropriately or adequately over time. What are the specific risks of not addressing those pollution targets? Well, first and foremost, there's cost, right? There's cost associated with not being compliant within your organization. There's cost associated with the risk to your production. Additionally, if you are outside of your compliance or the specific targets that the city has set for you, you're going to be charged or even asked to shut down production until you can remedy that situation. So there are significant risks associated with not addressing wastewater efficiently and in your early stages of planning. The other thing that can happen in the compliance arena is that compliance regulations change. And so the target that you met yesterday may not be the same target next year. And that's important to always have that open discussion with the city to understand how are things going to change, what are the requirements, and what ultimately are the cost investments that you need to put in place to ensure compliance on consistently changing targets. That compliance also comes with a cost associated with elevated sewer charges. On average, sewer charges increase 7% every single year. And so even with the surcharges that you may be paying in addition, even though you're doing everything right in compliance, you're going to see an escalation in charge naturally because municipalities need those dollars to maintain infrastructure. A huge risk, of course, in not addressing wastewater is an impact to production. If you're out of compliance, or if the city has made a change that all of a sudden you're out of compliance and you didn't anticipate to be, now your production could actually be forced to stop. This all has a lot of risk. Your business continuity, right? You may actually have to start hauling wastewater to a whole other area. If the hauling company shuts down or is not able to be on the road, that's also a massive issue. If there is, in fact, any sort of accident that happens on the road as they're hauling that wastewater to be dealt with somewhere else, you have a reputation risk. And you never want to be that guy in the news. If something accidentally is discharged into the environment, at a quality that's below the compliance requirements, right? That has a direct impact on your reputation. Most of your personnel are not trained wastewater operators, right? They're not going to want to handle the stinky stuff, right? Their core is really to focus on your specific business and production. And so having to take those resources away and put them onto a wastewater treatment project is not always going to be the most desirable or the best way to do it. And then finally, quantity, right? The amount of water that is required for production, right, is a significant amount of water. 30% of our global consumption is associated with industrial processes. Quantity, right, is really important because many of these industrial manufacturing areas exist in water-stressed areas around the world. So the amount of water that is consumed also is important to keep in mind. And if you think about your wastewater as a resource, right, now you can bring that treated water to a high quality, always within compliance, and offsetting the quantity that is required for your production. So as you think through all of the risks to your business, it's important to remember that there is over $300 billion at risk to businesses around the world, but it only takes 1/5 of that cost to address those risks.